Attention Israel! Subscribe to our new YouTube page, IUIC Events 2, for Shoutout Tuesday, exclusive videos, and backup content. Remember, our enemies want to stop this truth, so subscribe here to stay aware. Our content is also readily available on IUIC TV. The time is short, Israel. Subscribe now.
Shalom Israel, Most High Christ, blessed Deacon Isaac here. I'm here with the deacons, Deacon Malachi, Deacon Lava. We had an opportunity today to speak with the man himself.
Yes, sir.
As you know, this brother's been in the media. There's been a lot of lies told on his behalf, and he had the opportunity to speak for himself. What did you guys think?
You have to see it for themselves. See it for yourself, Israel. See it for yourself.
Library.
His name is Jimmy Shalzay, more commonly known by his childhood nickname, Barbecue. Once a Haitian police officer, he is now the leader of a powerful confederation of gangs called G9, which controls much of Port-au-Prince and its suburbs.
Toujours dit Haïtien sont peuple raison nous baoul là. Les conditions si nous mettons cité soleil, nous mettons la saline, vous regardez c'est comment monde ça fait vivre. Ou même qui dans pays on dit comment monde fait vivre là.
Es tiempo de guerra, si tú tienes miedo, muévete a la izquierda. Es tiempo de guerra, mi mente está fuerte como una piedra. Es tiempo de guerra, si tú tienes miedo, muévete a la izquierda. Es tiempo de guerra, mi mente está fuerte como una piedra.
I've been telling y'all for years we are at war. The nation of Israel is at war. Some of you in here don't believe that, but we are at war. I'm gonna show you the war.
For me, it's really incredible that I see soldiers from back here, you know, and this is too much, you know, God is too big, man.
We understand when Christ returned, the Lord is going to bring him again. Okay, and he's not going to have this weak body that you see we got today. Okay, this earth is just, we being brought on this earth is just a test. It's just a test for the life to come when the Lord returns. Okay, when the kingdom of heaven is set up. Okay, so we know we're going to see this brother again because he came and he understands the duty of man and he feared God and he kept God's commandments.
Beam up. This what every saint dream up. Finish the course, that's enough. Transform, boy, gotta see these wings on me. Chillin' with the saints and the real OGs. Gotta make a toast, yeah, drinks on me. When I was in the flesh, they ain't really know me. Flexing on my strength and my power OD. Chambers with the souls crowded.
Louis got a bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Louis got a bishop on deck. Louis got a bishop on deck.
Salute, see my bishop on deck. All the rising feet, show respect. All these dead dogs get checked. Hey, see what I'm saying? Hey, shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play.
Louis got the bishop on deck. Louis got the bishop on deck. See what I'm saying?
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathanyel here. You know what day it is. That's right. It is Shout Out Tuesday. It's Shout Out Tuesday. And you know how I love to read your letters of exhortation and your donations of support. But before I do that, I often love to cover a little bit of our hidden history. So let's relax ourselves. Let's get your libations. Let's get your diet food. Let's get your comfort food. Whatever you need to relax yourself to enjoy today's episode, all right? So let's take a look. The Annunciation Cathedral of the Moscow Kremlin. I've told y'all on the previous lessons that the Israelites ruled Russia. They ruled all of Europe for close to 1,000 years. I'm just going to take you inside the Annunciation Cathedral and show you proof that black people ruled Russia. And this is kept secret. Here's the layout and facade of the Annunciation Cathedral. So these are sketches that they did the layout for. Now again, the book is written in Russian, all right? Some of it's in English, but the vast majority is in Russian. So again, this is the layout. Now, some of these drawings, what I'm going to show you here, you'll see Caucasians in these drawings here. But what I'm going to show you are the older paintings inside the cathedral. We're going to go and look at the walls in the cathedral. Here's another photo of the cathedral here. I'm just giving you a look at the outside of the cathedral. All right, here on page 9, they show you the interior. Let's pan up. I want you to look at the walls. Look at the walls. Look at the color of the faces of the people on the walls. Can y'all see that? Do y'all see any? This is a distant shot. I just want y'all to take a look. See for yourselves. Now, you can let people lie to you and say, oh, the reason their faces are brown, dark brown, is because there was a fire in the cathedral. So how come the fire didn't touch back here? Only the faces are brown. The faces are brown. The faces. How come the fire just miraculously went around every place else and just jumped on their faces? And I'm saying that because you get these stupid Christian apologists, apologetics, whatever the hell they are. They're the dumbest of the dumb, especially the black ones who follow them. Look. More inside shots. That's Christ, Mary, Gabriel, John the Baptist, Uriel possibly. And these are the four parents. I'm going to show you those too. Look at the faces. Again, this is inside the cathedral. Now, if you look, some of them are being chipped away. You can see some of the faces being chipped off. Some are still intact. Some are being chipped away through time. Look here. Now look at the darkness on this face opposed to time chipping away some of these faces. This one still has retained color. These have been chipped away or eroded through time. The foremother Eve. Let's see how she was painted. Y'all see that? The black woman with dark brown skin. Boom. Who was that? Eve. Look here. This is Constantine and Helen. Y'all know Constantine and his mother, Helen, or Helene, sometimes they pronounce her. That where Constantine said, in this image, go forth and conquer. And he brought in Sunday worship in this new form of Christianity. Boom. Look. Black. Constantine and his mother, Helen, or Helene, were black. The Apostle Peter. Black with an afro. Can you dig it? The Apostle Paul. Look at his feet. Look at his hands. Boom. A black man. He's forehead bald. Like some of you brothers. Boom, black. Some of you may have heard of Basil the Great. Look at his hands. Beard, look at him. Black. The Transfiguration. Peter, James, and John. Christ, Moses, and Elijah. Black. And don't tell me about no fire. If the fire didn't catch on here, then why is their faces so dark like that? Why are their feet so dark? Why are their hands so dark? I don't care if they try to touch it up. He used to always try to touch things up. Let's give them wavy hair. I don't give a damn. I know what they tried to do. I know what they're doing. The Last Supper. Here's the 12 apostles. Black. And there's Judas reaching his hand into the basket to get the bread. Remember they was asking Christ, who it is that shall betray me? Here's Peter. This one's Christ. These are the other apostles. All black men. All black men. The Last Supper. Descent of the Holy Ghost. Here's Christ in the center with the crown on his head, black face. Here are the 12 apostles, all black men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 apostles. The prophet David. Let's see what he looked like. See the hands? See the face? Brown, dark brown. The prophet Aaron. Let's take a look. See the hands? Boom, dark brown. The prophet Solomon. Young man, no beard, black, boom. The prophet Gideon. See the feet? hand, look at his face. Boom, dark brown. The prophet Zechariah. See the hands? See the face, dark brown. Brown just like his hair. The forefather Joshua of the tribe of Ephraim. See the hands? See the face? Even has an afro. New World Jewry, 1493 to 1825, Requiem for the Forgotten, by Seymour B. Liebman. We are going to page 131. We're going to page 131. Pay close attention. As a result, well, this is chapter 7, Brazil and the Perulianos. I probably said that wrong. It opens up, as a result of the Spanish expulsion in 1492, King John II of Portugal, 1481 to 1495. I'm going to jump down just to get to the point. Here, watch this. During the 8-month period, many Jews who had not paid the entry fee or who were illegal immigrants were caught and sold as slaves. Many young children, especially those whose parents had been sold as slaves, were deported to the island of San Tome, then a recent Portuguese discovery off the coast of Africa. So they were sold as slaves off the coast of Africa. That's where the Portuguese had colonies. Most of the children were between 3 and 10 years of age. In San Tome, again, that's an island off the west coast of Africa. In San Tome, they were reared as Catholics. Okay, that's Christians. Catholics are Christians. The bereaved parents prostrated themselves at the feet of the king on a Sunday as he was leaving church and implored him to withdraw the decree of exile. Grates wrote that the king had them dragged from his path and compared them to bitches who had their whelps torn from them. So notice, these Jews and their children were sold as slaves. Where? In San Tome, off the west coast of Africa. All this is in Africa. So I'm going to show you in the same book. Now remember, these Jews were sold as slaves. Now watch what I show you in the same book. I'm going to go to page, let me see. I'm on page 183. Pay close attention. There's another group of Jews. Now you should know the difference between who the black Jews were and the converted white Jews, the Caucasians. Watch this. Trading and serving as merchants included owning warehouses with inventories to outfit the largest sailing vessels and to make ship repairs. The Jews were the largest ship handlers in the entire Caribbean region, where the shipping business was mainly a Jewish enterprise. Wow, let's jump down. The ships were not only owned by Jews, but were manned by Jewish crews and sailed under command of Jewish captains. Many of the ships were engaged in bringing slaves from Africa to the 13 colonies, the British Islands and the Caribbean, and the Spanish colonies. Remember, where were those slaves from Africa? Who was sold off the west coast? Jews were sold as slaves. So these Jews here are the converted Jews, the Caucasian Jews. The Jews spread through most of the West India Islands, French, English, and Spanish, as well as Dutch. Turn the page. Page 194. The governor in Venezuela had to accept the fact that unless he allowed local products to be shipped in Dutch ships, they would never reach Europe. A large proportion of these ships were owned by Jews who became active participants in the trade between Venezuela and the Old World. meaning the slave trade between Venezuela and Spain and Portugal. That was the old world. Let's go down. Runaway slaves, remember these were Jews too. Runaway slaves, these were black ones. Runaway slaves from Curacao found refuge in Coro. About 490 slaves fled between 1729 and 1796. 112 of them belonging to Jews. So who said these white people that call themselves Jews didn't own slaves? You bunch of liars. The Jews of Curacao were Orthodox, at least in the synagogue and publicly in the profession of their faith. All right, so you saw it for yourself. That was some good history. Now, it cannot be debunked or nothing like that. This truth ain't being debunked, brothers. This truth ain't being debunked, sisters. It ain't being debunked. Listen, so what I want to do now, I saw this evil video by this little Arab boy, or whatever the hell he is. It's called Unpacked, and he goes on a rant about the Israelites. So let's sit back. I do comment throughout the video because he just pissed me off with his lies. But anyway, I want y'all to watch this clip, and I'm going to come back with my full commentary, all right?
Semites, but when Jew hate makes headlines,
anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism. When rappers proclaim,
I see good things about Hitler also.
When radical Hebrew Israelites gather en masse to preach conspiracy theories, it's time to speak up.
All right, then. So let's speak up. All right. If black people did not go through slavery and fit the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 through 68, like verse 48, just for example, says we would have yokes of iron on our neck. OK, if that didn't happen to us, if that's just some conspiracy theory, prove it. Prove it never happened to us and prove that it happened to Caucasians. Just prove it.
We support Hitler. Right. Because Hitler was killing your people and Hitler knew who the real Jews was.
These groups endorse a toxic mix of anti-Semitism, xenophobia, and a whole lot of other hatreds. They've inspired hate crimes and murder.
Another lie, another ADL SPLC lie. Listen, the Bible teaches us thou shalt not kill. And that's what we teach. So for you to make those blatant lies just shows you have a hidden agenda to destroy the truth of the Holy Bible, that we are the real Israelites.
And their numbers are growing rapidly. So who are these guys? Where did their beliefs come from? And how should the Jewish community respond to them? Our story starts with one of history's ugliest injustices, the transatlantic slave trade. For 400 years, the backbone of the world's economy was the buying and selling of human beings based on the color of their skin. Enslaved Africans in the Americas suffered every torture you can imagine. But while bodies can be enslaved and maimed and killed, faith is much harder to destroy. These communities found hope in the biblical story of the Exodus. Like the ancient Israelites, they knew firsthand the bitterness of slavery. Most enslaved Africans were forcibly converted to the Christianity of their enslavers. But for some, the profound identification with the ancient Israelites crystallized into a theology known as Hebrew Israelism.
There's no term called Hebrew Israelism that we call ourselves by. That's another ADL lie.
As far back as the plantation, if you listen to a lot of old Negro spirituals, wade in the water, go down Moses, but they are spiritually connecting to the strength of Israel. It's not necessarily just about identity. It's about a sort of like spiritual connection to God.
No two groups of Hebrew Israelites were quite alike. Some worshipped in a style nearly identical to Pentecostal Christianity, with Jesus front and center. Others adopted mainstream Jewish practices. Some mashed up the two and added a dash of African nationalism. No matter how they practiced, all congregations believed they were the descendants of the ancient Israelites who had once been enslaved in Egypt. But here's the crazy part that we never see mentioned in history textbooks. It's possible that some enslaved Africans identified so strongly with the Israelites because they were Jews, or at least of Jewish descent.
The term Jewish is only used one time in the Bible. That's Titus 1:14 in reference to fables and lies. Now they're trying to say that some of the slaves descended from Caucasians. That's a damn lie.
After all, there's been a Jewish presence in Africa for thousands of years.
We've been teaching for years the real Jews are in Africa, okay? Like the Igbo, so forth and so on, but they're not Jewish. Although you people went down and put your nasty hands on them to pervert their minds.
You may be familiar with the Igbo of Nigeria or the Beta Israel of Ethiopia, but did you know that there were enough Jews in the West African Songhai Empire for the king to issue an edict of expulsion in 1492?
Wow. So what happened to those black Jews that were expelled from the Songhai Empire? They all went into slavery. How come it's only now that the Israelites are teaching? Now you bring out this profound history that there were black Jews throughout Africa. Wow. Only now you bring that out? You bunch of demons, you.
So we shouldn't dismiss the possibility that at least some Africans held Jewish or Israelite identities well before their enslavement in the Americas.
See how they play word games? It's not Jewish or Israelite. It's the house of Judah and the house of Israel when you read Jeremiah 3:18.
For the most part, early Hebrew Israelite communities got along with mainstream Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jews. But there's always got to be one maniac. A maniac is Arabic/Hebrew slang for a jerk. In the 1880s, that maniac was one Frank S. Cherry, a self-proclaimed prophet and founder of one of the earliest Hebrew Israelite communities, the Church of the Living God, the pillar ground of truth for all nations. Unlike other Hebrew Israelite congregations, Cherry believed that black Americans were the only real Israelites, which made non-black Jews usurpers of their identity and heritage. Cherry's Shabbat services often involved long sermons about the evils of the Jews, who would get what was coming to them in the year 2000 when Jesus would return to start a race war that would end with white folks in chains. Obviously, I'm not going to spend time debunking the unhinged theology of a man who believed that the earth was square. Did I not mention that? That was big for Cherry. But I do have to address one of his ideas, because unfortunately, it's one that a lot of people share. That Jews are white Europeans. That's completely false.
Well, you sure look Caucasian European to me. Yes, y'all, read Ezekiel 36:5.
Jews are a Semitic people. Our culture, our nation, and our identity originated in the land of Israel. Add in a couple millennia of exile that sent us to every corner of the earth, and you get a vast and dazzling variety of ways to look and be Jewish. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons that I don't love Frank Cherry's ideology. And I want to stress, neither did most Hebrew Israelites. In fact, some of the founders of later Hebrew Israelite congregations were mixed-race Jews of color.
Oh my God, this guy can't stop lying. Most congregations were mixed-race Jews of color. Where are you getting these lies from? Wow!
Adding an extra dimension to their identity. So where do they belong? Are they Jews? Are they Hebrew Israelites? Are they both? Well, again, that really depends on who you ask. So I ask. In short, the Hebrew Israelite community is pretty diverse. But Asriel Moore, a 31-year-old Hebrew Israelite living in Israel, isn't particularly interested in definitions or labels.
I'm not focusing on what separates us. I'm focusing on what connects us. If we want to focus on things that separates us, we can find a lot of those things. But my question is, what unites us? And what unites us is actually the desire to return back to our homeland.
Unfortunately, no community is exempt from the prejudices embedded within the laws of their society. In the racially segregated societies of the 19th and 20th centuries in America, many would-be Jews of color who were seeking access to Judaism found those doors closed, forbidden from Jewish communities or houses of worship, barred from the knowledge and practice they saw as their birthright.
Well, you got that part right. These so-called Jewish people, these Caucasians, have always hated our people. Now that the Israelites, we're on the rise, now they want to sit down. Allegedly, now they really don't want to sit down. Now they claim, let's be friends now. No, it's all deceit. We have gone through over 400 years of their deceit. No more.
That exclusion was painful, even traumatic. And it's one reason why the Jewish and Hebrew Israelite communities have such a complicated relationship. Rabbi Wentworth Arthur Matthew, founder of the largest Hebrew Israelite community in America, understood this. As the head of the Commandment Keepers movement, he dedicated much of his life to building bridges with mainstream Jewish communities. Though his rejection from the New York Board of Rabbis left Rabbi Matthew feeling stung and discredited, he never let his personal hurt calcify into resentment.
See, more Jewish hatred and racism. That's what they all about.
Instead, he advocated fiercely for Jewish communities in Europe during and after World War II, encouraging his followers to maintain that spirit of brotherly kindness and sympathy towards the Jews.
Matthews wanted to assimilate. His whole thing was about assimilation, which Bivens was against.
Rabbi Matthew would have been horrified by his former congregant, Abba Bivens, who broke from the Commandment Keepers to found a new congregation that would soon give rise to some of the most noxiously anti-Semitic ideologies in America.
Bivens left the commandment keepers because they didn't teach the New Testament. Okay, so and how is it anti-Semitic if Bivens is teaching that our people are the real, authentic, original Semitic Israelites? You lying mamza, you.
An ideology rooted explicitly in the hatred of a lot of people, especially Jews. Unsurprisingly, radical Hebrew Israelites traffic in all of the greatest hits of anti-Semitic stereotypes. Jews control the world, Jews control the slave trade, Jews profit off of other people, Jews are the synagogue of Satan.
Now hold on. Bivens didn't make that up. That's in Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. And it's never been taught for our people to spray paint things on synagogues. That's the KKK. That's the Aryan groups that you need to go after. That's Antifa. That's them people out there doing that.
Etc., etc., etc. Let me put it this way. You know something's messed up when you see Tom Metzger, a former KKK Grand Dragon, whatever that means, remark approvingly that radical Hebrew Israelites are the black counterparts of us.
Really? So how many crosses have the Israelites burned on your lawn, huh? How many people have the Israelites lynched? I'd like a number. Please tell.
Us meaning literal white supremacists. Like we needed any more proof that hatred is irrational. But irrational doesn't mean not dangerous. Radical Hebrew Israelite ideology has already killed people.
2 suspects got out of their van and began firing at the JC Kosher supermarket in Jersey City.
4 shot to death in a Jersey City kosher grocery in 2019.
The suspect slashed his way through a house full of Orthodox Jewish worshipers.
5 people stabbed with a machete during a Hanukkah party 2 weeks later.
Notice they give no proof that those were Israelites ever. They just say it and hope that black people are stupid enough to believe it with no evidence, no proof.
And the movement is spreading. In 2015, the radical Hebrew Israelite group, Israel United in Christ, had 5,000 members. Today, it's 10,000. But it's not their numbers that worry me. It's their rate of growth, especially as prominent celebrities amplify the most vile parts of radical Hebrew Israelite ideology. And you know what I really hate about this?
Yeah, you hate black people waking up to the truth that they're the Israelites, that's all.
It creates a rift between two peoples who should be the strongest allies. Black and Jewish communities are intimately acquainted with trauma. We should be the first to embrace and uplift each other, with Jews of color, like me and so many others, as the bridge.
What are you talking about? You just insulted us through the whole video, saying how hateful we are, we're murderers, we're like the Ku Klux Klan, etc., etc. Now you're talking about us being friends? Are you kidding me? You never reached out to the Israelites. You never sat down with the Israelites and asked us what we teach, what we believe, you lying bastard.
And yet, radical Hebrew Israelite rhetoric keeps us divided and afraid. My friend Kazriel experienced this firsthand before converting to Judaism from Hebrew Israelism.
A lot of people told me before I came into mainstream Judaism that Jews are racist or they're bigots and all these other type of things, right? And that I'm not going to ever be accepted into the community. I'm always going to be this outsider. But me living within the community has shown that to be a lie.
Hate flourishes in ignorance, but it's hard to hate someone you know, someone you've talked to and laughed with, someone who's taken the time to get to know you. So I reach out on social media and in real life. I try to build bridges between communities.
Lies, lies, lies! You never reached out to us. You never reached out to the Israelites.
Whether they're black or Jewish or Hebrew Israelite or some combo of the three, because Ashriel is right. We shouldn't focus on what divides us. All that really matters is that we acknowledge each other as human beings, each of us created in the image of God.
All right, brothers and sisters, you saw it for yourself. You saw it for yourself. That dude was a maniac, a jerk. He was the true jerk. In fact, he was a mamza. That's what he is, a mamza. That's right. I said it. I said it. I said it. Little Arab boy. And what Amalek does, they like to hire, they look for stupid black people to speak on their behalf and stupid little Arabs who don't give a damn about their own people in Palestine. They get blown to hell and back, but they don't care. As long as they do the will and bidding of the devil. So now, they talked about, little Arab boy followed his master's behest to talk about anti-Semitic. Let's take a look and see what a so-called Jewish woman says about the term anti-Semitic.
Dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government. People here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then there are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people, and they have power, money, and media, and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics, and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people. And that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
All right, you saw it, you heard it for yourself now. In case see, this is why they don't let the Israelites go on major networks, because they know we're going to shut down every freaking lie. I said freaking lie. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 1. We're going to read verse 17 to 34. I'm just going to read it real quick. The sons of Shem. Shem is where the term Sem comes from. The word Sem refers to the sons of Shem. When somebody says you are anti-Semitic, they're saying you're anti-Shem or Shem's people, Shem's descendants. That's what that means. All right. Now let's read. The sons of Shem: Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, and let's put the thing on the screen with the different sons of Shem that became great nations, all right? And Lud, and Aram, and Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Meshech, and Arphaxad begat Shelah, and Shelah begat Eber. Eber is where the word Hebrew comes from. And unto Eber, which is Hebrew, were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided, and meaning that's when the Tower of Babel had occurred. And his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almadad, and Sheleph, and Hazar Mevith, and Jerah, and Hadaram also, and Uzal, and Diklah, and Ebal, and Abimelech, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilith, and Jobah. All these were the sons of Joktan: Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah. Now right here from verse 24, I should have actually started here. I like this better. Well, I mean, it's one full thing, but it's a little shorter. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, these are the kids that were chosen by God. Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, Abram, the same as Abraham. The sons of Abraham: Isaac and Ishmael. Okay? These are their generations, the firstborn of Ishmael. Nebaioth, then Kedar, Adbeel, and Absam, Mishma, and Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Nephash, and Kedma. These are the sons of Ishmael. Now the sons of Keturah, Abraham's concubine. She bare Zimram, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And the sons of Jokshan, Sheba, and Dedan. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, and Henoch, and Abidah, and Eldaah. All these are the sons of Keturah. And Abraham begat Isaac, the sons of Isaac, Esau, and Israel. All of those names that I just read from verse 17 to 34 are Shemites. Shemites. Okay? Those are all Shemites. Now, you also had Abraham's nephew, I believe his name was Lot. Not I believe his name was Lot. He had Moab and Ammon. They were also Shemitic. But look at the sign. Look at the chart we put together. We named some of the nations. Now, everybody in this list didn't become mighty nations. Some did, some did not. Okay? So that's why I want you to look at those different names on this list. Don't ever let these white folks fool you to make you believe they're the only Semites on the planet. You better shut your mouth. See, and if you ever get the chance to go on national TV, embarrass the hell out of them for all their lies. That's all they do is lie, lie, lie. And as I said before, they look for disgruntled, angry, hateful black people who hate their own people to speak against this truth. And now they got some little Arab boy or whatever the hell he is speaking against this truth. You better shut your Arab lips or whatever the hell you are. So now the little bastard, little Mamza, goes on to say radical Hebrew Israelites gather in mass to preach conspiracy theories. Well, you have to explain to me, how is Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68, a conspiracy theory? Because that's what we teach, okay? Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68 is about the Israelites suffering oppression, colonialism, and slavery, and the loss of their identity. This little Arab boy, little Mamza, then asks, where do their beliefs come from? The Bible. That's where our beliefs come from, the Bible. Or as you may say, the Torah or the Tanakh. That's where it comes from. Then the little Arab boy mentions the transatlantic slave trade. I'm glad you mentioned that because that is the truest Holocaust in the world. Let me say it again. The transatlantic slave trade is the truest Holocaust in the world, in conjunction with the sub-Saharan slave trade. Watch this. I'm just going to give you a few verses. You tell me if this happened to our people, yay or nay. Deuteronomy chapter 28. I'm only going to read a few verses. I'm going to read verse 68 to start with. Then I'm going to jump back. And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. This word Egypt means bondage. Okay, when you go to Exodus, watch this. Let's go there. Exodus chapter 20. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Chapter 20 and verse 2. And it reads, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt is synonymous for the house of bondage. Another word for bondage is captivity, slavery. That's what bondage means. Captivity, slavery. So when we go back to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, meaning slavery again, with ships. See that? With ships. Do you see that? Did that happen to the white Israelis? No. Huh? Who did it happen to? Our people over here. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there, meaning once we got off those slave ships, ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, meaning slave men, and bondwomen, meaning slave women. And no man shall buy you. When it says no man shall buy you, that word buy them is an old Quaker English word that means redeem you. So don't be, somebody will say, see, it says nobody's going to buy you. Ask yourself a question. Where in history did one race of people offer themselves as slaves and nobody wanted free slave labor? Where is that in history? It never existed. Stop listening to these mamzas, because that's what they are, these evil, evil people. Because notice it says, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies. It says you're going to be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, meaning you will be sold to your enemies, all right? That's what happened to us. Then it says, and no man shall buy you. So what does that mean? No man shall redeem you. You had great leaders like Malcolm X tried to redeem us. He was assassinated. Martin Luther King tried to redeem us. He was assassinated. Marcus Garvey tried to redeem us. He was exiled, then assassinated in England. Okay. You had Thomas Sankara tried to redeem our people in Burkina Faso. He was assassinated. Patrice Lumumba tried to redeem us in the Congo. He was assassinated. You had one more. It's a bunch more. I'm just shooting off the top of my head. You had Kwame Nkrumah. He was exiled, and he almost went crazy. All right, because his cook was killed. Poisoned, and he was afraid for his life that he was going to be murdered. And he eventually died. But this is what these people, when I say these people, it's about so-called Caucasians, that's what I'm talking about. This is what they do. So now, let's go back. Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. You tell me if this happened to us. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, meaning you would have to serve your enemies for food. They will control the food industry. And in thirst, meaning you would have to serve your enemies for water. They will control the water industry. And in nakedness, meaning you would have to serve your enemies for clothing, because they will control the clothing industry. And in want of all things, what does all things mean? Like medicine, wick, housing, you have to go to your enemies for. Land, watch this, and he, your enemy, shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Put the images on the screen. Did we as a race have yokes of iron on our necks? Yes, we did. Did the Israeli Jewish people have yokes of iron on their neck when it got off slave ships? It never happened. It never happened. But it happened to us. Then it reads on, until he have destroyed thee. What does that part mean, until he have destroyed thee? When did the yokes of iron come off? When we were destroyed mentally and spiritually under bondage of Christianity and or Islam. That's when the yokes came off our necks, when we were mentally and spiritually destroyed. Now let's look at verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. What does it mean, a proverb and a byword? Meaning we would be called outside our God-given names. We would be given new names, new labels to identify us as a people, as a race. We would no longer be called Judah. We'd be called African American. We would no longer be called West Indian. No longer be called Benjamin, but be called West Indians. We would no longer be called Levi. We'd be called Haitians. We'd no longer be called Ephraim. We'd be called Puerto Ricans. We'd no longer be called Simeon. We'd be called Dominicans. We'd no longer be called Issachar. We'd be called Mexicans, so forth and so on. Okay? So forth and so on. That's what it means. So now these curses, when you read verse 15 down, you got to see what races or race in the earth fits all of these things. And I just named 3. Slave ships, sold on auction blocks, yokes of iron on your neck, loss of identity. That fits us. That fits us. That fits us. And guess what? Although everybody knows that ours was the true Holocaust, nobody really cares. They go, oh, the Israelis suffered such torture during World War II under Adolf Schlogelheimer Hitler. That's what they say. How long was World War II? Well, technically it was 6 years, but when America got involved, it was 5 years. A 5-year war when America got involved. And they gave the Israelis reparations, $70 billion a year. Not only that, they gave them land. Not only that, they gave them a new language, Yiddish and its new form of Hebrew. that, what's his name? Eliezer Ben Yehuda concocted. Y'all don't want me on CNN. You don't want me on major networks. You're going to look for some little know-nothing to put them on. Oh, but what about the Japanese? They suffered in World War II too. And they got reparations. Them, their grandkids, and their children's grandkids. Okay? But what about our people who suffered over 400 years of slavery? That's right, I said over 400 years. Don't start slavery from 1619. No, it didn't start there. The transatlantic slave trade started in 1441 when Pope Nicholas V and later on Pope Alexander VI of Rome issued papal bulls orchestrating, allowing, confirming slavery of our race, of our people, the real Israelites. So I want you to count from 1441 to when did we get emancipated, allegedly? 1863, 65? I think it was 63, but many of our people didn't hear about it until 65. That's what it is. But do the math. 1441 to 1865. Do the math. Over 400 years. Now, does anybody care? Let's see what the Bible prophesies about. Isaiah 42:22. About us. Watch what it says about our people. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. These holes that we're snared in, America's a hole. The lands of our captivities are holes. And they are hid in prison houses. The prison houses is two meanings. It's literal because here in America, black people fill the prison houses like no other place on earth. Then the prison houses are these religions that we're in, these political groups that we're in. It goes on to say they are for prey, and none delivereth, meaning what? Nobody is trying to deliver our people. Then it says, talking about of the other nations, then it says, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who of the other nations has tried to deliver us? Who of the other nations has said, restore to them everything that was stolen from them? Restore to them their land, their culture, their heritage, their language, their wealth. Who amongst the other nations have stood up on our behalf? Oh, I'll wait. Did anybody notice that the little Arab boy mentions black Jews in Africa being sold into slavery? Did anybody notice that? Huh? He talked about black Jews being expelled out of the Songhai Empire. And it wasn't just the Songhai Empire. Okay, what happened to those black Jews? Huh? What they went into slavery? See, this is why Christ said, let's go to Luke. Let's go to the book of Luke. See, when we tell y'all that we were in Africa mixing amongst the Nilotes, and when the Rome made those papal bulls, making us slaves, the Hamites, which were the Nilotes, were in agreement, okay, with the Arabs and the white man to sell us. But y'all don't want to hear it when we say it. We say it, it's like, eh. Now the little Arab boy brings it out. And it's not just him, there's been others. Caucasians bringing it out, true. Okay, watch this, Luke 12, 1-3. In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples, first of all, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisies. Now we know that there's no group today called Pharisees, but it's talking about religious groups who are hypocrisies, who are hypocrites, I should say, hypocrites, excuse me. There are religious groups like Christians who are hypocrites. They have the Bible in their hand. They can read what would happen to the 12 tribes of Israel, but they deny it. They reject it. they hate it. Watch this, verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed. We've been telling y'all for years that they rounded up the Israelites in Africa in various places and sold us into slavery, that we are those people. No. Now you got Amalek hired this little Arab boy, or whatever the hell he is, to bring out the truth that there were black Jews in Africa, and the groups that was amongst the Songhai Empire got expelled. And like I said, they went into slavery. And he goes, yeah, sure, some of them might. See how they do? This is why judgment is going to come on these people. It ain't going to be no, oh, I'm sorry now. I was confused. I didn't know. Oh, no. You know. You can read. You can understand. You have reading comprehension. And I'm telling you just in case. But you still buck. You still reject. Okay, verse 2 again. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So whatever the white man is covered and hid is coming out. Verse 3. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. And that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So what the apostles and them spoke in secret at one time, now in these last days is coming as being proclaimed upon the housetops for everyone to hear. And guess what that's going to do? Piss people off. Are you mad listening right now? Are you one of the people that's pissed the hell off at this truth? That we're the Israelites? Christ is our people of the tribe of Judah. That's right, Hebrews 7:14. That's right. Christ is of the tribe of Judah, a black man. Does that piss you off? Are you mad? So why are they only now admitting black Jews were sold into slavery? Because of true history we're bringing out, biblically and from old textbooks. For example, I'm going to show you this book of our people in Africa. Look at this. All that's in red are the Jews. All that's in red are the Jews. Take a look. Take a listen. All right. Here's, you see Spain there. All right. I want you to look at the borders of Africa. There's Arabia. Let me just come in closer. All right. There's Somaliland. This is the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, called Abyssinia at this time. I want you to notice where they got the Jews located at. There's the Falashas there. Look over here, Yemen Jews. That's in Arabia. But I want to focus on Africa. All right. Taliban Jews, a pre-exilic Yahwism. That's for those that follow Yahweh. All right. Let's move over. I'm going to go down to the bottom. Look, Loando Jews. This is on the coast of Africa. All right. Mavumbu Jews. Look, this is what I was just showing you in the other books. San Tome Jews. Remember the Jews were cast out of Spain and sent to San Tome or St. Thomas. That's that island right there. All right. Look, Levite cities. Where amongst the houses? You know, a lot of you Nigerians, you hate the houses. There's Cameroons. Levite cities over here. This is Nigeria. See? Nigeria. Nigeria. You got Levite cities there. Houses. Levite cities. Beni Ephraim, sons of Ephraim. Beni means, or Benai means sons of Ephraim. Okay? Dahomey Jews. Jewish traces all amongst the Ashanti. Judeo-paganism. So these Israelites here were following pagan customs around Cape Verde and Senegambia.
The Lam, once a Jewish colony. Timbuktu. Let's go around here. Medieval Jewish kingdom. Jewish kingdom of Granada. Let me go down. Let me find some of these words. Let me look. Let me go up along the coast. I'm going to follow the coastline. Beni Musa, sons of Moses. Now, it's hard for me to see. Y'all know I wear glasses, but if y'all at home, y'all could spot some of this stuff before I do. Berber Jews. Black Jews. And I want y'all to see this because this is what the so-called scholars put together. The Jews were cast out of Spain. Remember that history I've been showing you for a while. My eyesight ain't that good, but I'm just showing y'all this map. So if y'all see something, y'all can freeze screen it. Freeze the screen! Israel immigrates here. Look at that. To Arabia. That's Arabia right there. Jewish traces. What's that say? Wasambara? Yemen Jews and Falashas, Berber, Moorish, and Negro Jews. So the white man knows the blacks are the Israelites. They know that. They keep this stuff hidden from us. Now you saw it for yourself, brothers and sisters. You saw it for yourself. I didn't write that book. So now this little Arab boy goes on to say that Frank S. Cherry was a maniac. A jerk. See, brothers and sisters, we cannot allow these other nations to insult our ancestors. And they do it to see which one of you have the guts to stand up for your people. Because they know a lot of you, like you saw the black man, the three black people on his that little stupid video we just showed, that we showed earlier with him. He's insulting one of their ancestors and they say nothing. Or if they did say something, he edited it out. But I'm here to say, you might not agree with everything Frank S. Cherry said. I don't agree with everything, like the earth being split. I didn't agree with that. Okay. But he has the right to say what he wants to say. Okay. And the other nations, you're not going to stand and insult my people, and I'm just going to sit back and say nothing, because I'll guarantee you, if you insult the Arabs and their people, I bet you they come for you. Say something against Muhammad, I bet you they come for you. You ain't saying nothing against Netanyahu or their so-called Jewish rabbis. Huh? Ask Kevin Hart when he said something against Egypt. What the Arabs do when he said the Egyptians were black. They canceled him. Y'all think I'm playing. You black men, you better start to stand up for your people. That's all I could do is warn you and tell you. Don't think you're going to, when Christ returns, then you're going to go, oh, I got to change your heart. Now I want to be big and bold. No. You scaredy cat Israelites, move out our way. You little scaredy cat. Move! The Lord can't use you. Okay? So, Frank S. Cherry, he lived from 1875 to 1963, okay? And as the little Arab boy, the Mamza said, called him a maniac, a jerk, really? So during this time of Jim Crow, because that's when Jim Crow was in effect, Jim Crow was in effect from 1875 to 1963. Jim Crow, segregation, the Ku Klux Klan. So Frank S. Cherry was a jerk for teaching his people are the real Israelites. He was a jerk for that. He was a jerk for teaching that whites are evil when it was whites lynching us, burning crosses on our lawn, hell, burning us up, burning our houses, stealing our homes, our land, our property.
not allowing us to even sit in a restaurant, huh? So Frank S. Cherry was a jerk for what he taught out of the Bible. You can't make this stuff up. Ask yourself, what were the whites doing to blacks during the time of Jim Crow era? You jerk, you mamzer, you maniac. Your father was a maniac. You better shut your little Arab lips. And then the little Arab boy, whatever the hell he is, I don't give a daggone. He said Jews are not white European. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hell, they came from the Caucasus Mountains. That's why they call themselves Caucasians. They come from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Biblically, they're the Edomites. Let's prove that. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. I want you all to look up Idumea. It's a Greco-Roman word for Edom. Edom means red. Why red? Because the blood shows through their skin. That's what it means. And against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart. See, it's telling you what race of people took the land over. With despiteful minds, they took the land despite knowing it doesn't belong to them. Then it says to cast it out for a prey. What does it mean to cast it out for a prey? They call to all their other fellow Edomites from Czechoslovakia, Khazaria, Uzbekistan, Poland, Russia, Germany, so forth and so on, and said, come get a piece of the pie. Come get a piece of this land. And they came from far and wide and learned Yiddish, learned that new form of Hebrew, and daven back and forth against a wall that is not the wall of the temple, the Solomon built, or Zerubbabel rebuilt. Not that. That was Herod's wall. Okay? I hope y'all understand. So, then he goes on to say, oh no, he didn't say anything after that. I want to comment on what he was saying about them not being white Europeans. You know, the devil is a liar. And not only that, these Caucasians established themselves as Jewish in the land, 1948. Does the Bible prophesy that thing? Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, and in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. The king of the south is Egypt. Like, for example, Gamal Abdul Nasser during the 6-Day War. Then it says, also the robbers of thy people, shall exalt themselves. Exalt themselves as what? The Jews, to establish the vision that they are the people of Israel, that they are the Jews. Then it says, but they shall fall. That's what the Bible prophesies. They shall fall. Brothers, sisters, you better bet your bottom dollar on the word of God. This book shall stand. You stand on the side of these Israelis. When they go down, you go down too. Okay? And let's get some more. Revelation 2:9. They hate this one. They said that Bivens made this up. Wow. Watch this, Revelation 2:9. This is the words of Christ. This is the words of Jesus. This is the words of Yahshua. This is the words of Yehoshua. Revelation 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. So he's speaking to the real black Jews in Smyrna. Then he says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. See, the little Arab boy said that F.S. Cherry and Bivens made that. No, that's from the Bible. This book, Revelation, was written over 2,000 years ago. What are you talking about, little Arab boy? You little lying mamzer, you? Wow. And nobody cares if you don't love Frank S. Cherry. Who gives a damn what you think? You're not an Israelite. You little Arab boy. Shut your mouth. Did anybody notice when this clown mentioned congregations of mixed-race Hebrew Israelites, which I don't know where they are, where are these mixed-race congregations? They don't exist. He put up the rainbow flag, the rainbow colors, I should say. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say by putting up the rainbow colors? Put it back on the screen. Put that back on the screen so they can see it. Then a little Arab boy looks for weak, effeminate black men to speak to, and women, and those two groups rarely, if ever, speak truth to power. Now, I'm not saying that amongst the women, you don't have some strong character, because you had our foremothers. But in today's day and time, you have Shahrazad Ali. Okay, she spoke truth to power. She was good. Who else? Y'all help me out in the comment board, because right now my mind went boop. Who else? You got Joy DeGruy. Okay. I forgot the name, but it just popped in my mind. Dr. Mumbi Saraki and Sister Vicky Dillard. Those two definitely. I can't forget them. So if there's any other names, you could put them in the... Listen, and if I'm any sister that's out there speaking against this truth, speaking against IUIC, I ain't mentioning your name. You're a piece of garbage. I'm letting you know right now. Okay, you're not in this fight with us. So don't put in the comment section some big mouth woman, some Jezebel who hates IUIC and speaks against us. I don't want to see her damn name. Okay, anyway. So I got to tell you know what? So I got to take the women out of that group, and I'll just stick it with the effeminate black men that are afraid to speak truth to power. I'll leave it like that, all right? Do you feel better now, sis? You feel a little better now? Good. So anyway, then this little Arab boy says Abba Bivens taught an ideology that had hatred for a lot of people. Wrong again, little Arab boy, wrong again. Let's go to Jeremiah 28. See, like I said, they afraid to put us on national television and allow us to speak. They'd rather put a picture of us up there and say, oh, they're hateful, they're this, they're that, and wait for dumb black men and women to go, yeah, they're hateful, with no proof of nothing. Jeremiah 28, verse 8. Here's a prophecy. Watch it. Listen good. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. COVID-19, SARS, SARS. So the prophets all spoke against countries and great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence, COVID-19. So this is what we do. So don't say, oh, Abba Bivens had this hateful idea. No. God said to speak this against these countries of what's going to happen. So we're speaking to these countries, America, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, so-called Israel over there today. All of you, even the ones that I ain't mentioned, China. We prophesied against you. You are both prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. Is America a great kingdom? Yes. Is Britain a great kingdom? Yes. Is China a great kingdom? Yes. Of war and of evil and of pestilence. COVID-19, SARS, SARS. So this is what God commands us to do. So it's not something that Abba Bivens sat down and said, you know what? I just hate everybody, so I'm just going to say this and say, you got it all wrong, little Arab boy. Or go back to your masters, so-called Jewish people, run back to them and say they put you on this video and got you looking like an a-hole, because that's what you look like, an a-hole. And I'll tell you to your face if I ever meet you, to your face. Now, let's give you some examples of prophesying against many countries and great kingdoms. Watch this. Let's go to Jeremiah 46. I'm only going to read the top few verses just so that y'all can see what the Bible's talking about. Jeremiah 46, we're going to read verse 1 and 2. The word of the Lord which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles, Verse 2, against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, which was by the river Euphrates, in Carchemish, and Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, smote in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Now, as you read down in this chapter, it goes deep into what's going to happen to Egypt. Okay? Now, remember he said in verse 1 against the Gentiles. Egypt ain't the only Gentiles. Go to chapter 47 and verse 1. It continues, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines. Before that, Pharaoh smote Gaza. So the Philistines, that's the ancient name for modern-day Palestine. I'm going to say it again. Philistia or Philistines was the ancient name. The modern name is Palestine. Okay? And as you read down, it goes into what's going to happen to Gaza. Now, it goes on about the Gentiles in chapter 48 and verse 1. Against Moab. Moab is the Chinese. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kiriathim is confounded and taken. Misgab is confounded and dismayed. Now, as you read down, it goes from back then up till now. What's going to happen to China in the last days? Oh, the party ain't over. The party ain't over. Go to chapter 49 and verse 1. Concerning the Ammonites. Now, the Ammonites are your modern day Japanese and Koreans. South Korea, North Korea. Those are all Ammonites. Concerning the Ammonites, thus saith the Lord, hath Israel no sons? Hath he no heir? Why then doth their king inherit Gad, and his people dwell in his cities? So what happened with Ammon? These so-called Asians, they took over and talked about inherit Gad. Remember, during the time of the Industrial Revolution, you had Chinese, Japanese coming over to the land and going to reservations, mixing with the so-called Native American Indian women, having children. Those children are not Gadites. Those are Ammonites. Okay? I don't care what they look like. Those are not. Now, I ain't saying all of them. Y'all look at them, y'all know. Y'all look at them, y'all know. Anyway, from there, the party ain't over. Jump down to verse 7 of Jeremiah 49. Verse 7 reads, concerning Edom. Who's Edom? Your so-called Caucasians. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is there no wisdom? Is their wisdom vanished? So Edom are your modern day Caucasians. Okay? So when we started in Jeremiah 46 and 1, it talked about prophesy against the Gentiles. There's a whole lot of Gentile nations. I just named a few. Now, when you go to Jeremiah 50 and 1, it goes on. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of Chaldea by Jeremiah the prophet. So again, it starts with ancient Babylon back during the time of Jeremiah, but it goes all the way up. It continues. Like when you go to chapter 51, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. Jump down to verse 27. And this Babylon is modern day America. Verse 27, it reads, listen good. It's going to tell you who's going to rise up against them. Set up a standard in the land. Blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Against who? Against Babylon. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat. Ararat is modern day Turkey. That's right, Turkey's part of NATO. Ha! Mini, that's Armenia. Then it says, and Ashkenaz, that's Germany. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars, meaning terrorists. So I'm not going to go into much detail on Shout Out Tuesday. Y'all know during the Sabbath class I go in more detail. Okay? Y'all take a look at these maps. Okay? There goes there goes Turkey, which is Ararat. You got Mini, which is Armenia, and that whole section there. Ashkenaz, Germany. Okay. Now, you may be saying to yourself, everybody don't hate Israelites. Yes. So we ain't talking about individuals. We're talking about the collective nations. So let me go on. Little Arab boy goes on and said a ambivalence toward hatred against a lot of people, especially Jewish people. Then he says, this guy, he really annoys me. Listen, little Arab boy, or whatever you are, Caucasians are not Jews. We read that in Revelation 2:9. They're not the Jews. The lies continue, brothers and sisters, that Israelites killed people in Jersey City, because that's what little Arab boy also pushed out there. He got that from his masters too. A crazy guy allegedly slashed 5 people during Hanukkah without any proof or verification that these people were Israelites. They just say it. And if you're dumb enough, you believe them. Okay? Secret plots, brothers and sisters, secret plots. So now, let's sum up all the lies. Let's sum up all his lies. Let's go to Psalms. There's so much more I want to say, but I think I'll save it for Sabbath class if I'm there. Y'all know I'm doing this fast. Y'all keep me in your prayers. I'm doing a 21 day. Woo! I don't know if I might do all 21 days, but y'all pray for me. I'm starting with the cleansed type, then I'm merging into the Jonah 3:7 type. Where'd I say go? Oh, Psalms 101 and verse 7 and 8. Listen, little Arab boy. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. So in case you are a Messianic Jewish person, Messianic, that's the group that believe in white Jesus, and you really think you're going to the kingdom of heaven. You really think you're going there on earth. It says this, he that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. So just in case you thought in your little religion that you get in the kingdom, which you're not, that just told you, in your lies, in your deceit, you ain't getting the kingdom, even in your lying denomination. Let's get some more. Revelation 21 and 8. Revelation 21 and verse 8. And it reads, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars. Listen good, little Arab boy. Share this video. All liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So, little Arab boy, your end is near. Judgment is coming for you, spreading those lies at the behest of your masters. That's right. Let me get last scripture here. Happy art thou, O Israel. So brothers and sisters, listen good to this. This is a prophecy Moses said. Happy art thou, O Israel. Who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord? The shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency? And mine enemies and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee. Let's read that again. And thine enemies, that's all these other nations, shall be found liars unto thee. Guess what? That also includes black men and black women, Latin men and Latin women that join with these other nations. Let's read that again. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places, meaning we're going to tread upon their governments when we get that power. when Christ returned. That's right. That's what the Bible prophesies about. So, brothers, sisters, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters and donations, shall we? All praises.
Attention Israel! Subscribe to our new YouTube page, IUIC Events 2, for Shout Out Tuesday, exclusive videos, and backup content. Remember, our enemies want to stop this truth, so subscribe here to stay aware. Our content is also readily available on IUIC TV. The time is short, Israel. Subscribe now.
All right, let's get to the reading of the shout out letters. This first one says, "Hi, to whom it may concern, does IUIC have calendars? If yes, how can I get one?" Well, you could go to originalroyalty.com and order your calendars. This is from C.W. Matthews. I see you left your phone number there, and I will have Deacon Asaph reach out to you in case you missed this message. All right, the next one's a card that says, "God works through you in beautiful ways. He's always putting you right where he needs you to be, and you're always doing what he needs you to do. Best of all, he's given me a much-needed wake-up message from IUIC, and that's the most beautiful blessing anyone could ask for, that I am the real Jew. Thanks for all your helpful ways. Thank you so much. I love all of you. God bless. Marquesia C." Thank you, Marquesia. All praises. All praises. The next one is from the Jersey Jew. "Shalom, Bishop. Most High in Christ bless. The Jersey Jew, please accept my gift so our brothers can continue the mission to gather our elect. I send much love, peace, and blessings to you and all 12 tribes. Thank you, the Jersey Jew." Thank you, Jersey Jew. All praises. All right, the next one says, "To Bishop Nathanyel and all of the mighty men, may God bless all of you that bring us the almighty word. Stay safe. D. Williams of Chicago." Shout out to D. Williams. Thank you so much. All right, the next one is a card that says, "Thank you. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. You're the best, Bishop Nathanyel, and all that you do for the nation of Israel. And you are a true man of God. Please continue to send up prayers for us as we pray for you and IUIC. Encloses our alms. This is from Brother Ronnie and Sister Tammy. Shalom." Thank y'all so much. All praises, all praises. All right, the next one reads, "Shalom, Bishop Nathanyel. All praises, honor, and glory to our Most High God for all leadership, soldiers, brothers, and sisters in IUIC. I am recovering from COVID." Oh, we're going to definitely send up prayers for you. Let me get it right. I have felt like I've been at death's door. I think that's what you're trying to say. And all praises to our Most High God. Please remember my family in prayer. Yes, that eyes will be open and understanding, that they too may realize we are the true Israelites and live accordingly. Thank you, and thank you can never be enough. Please take these small alms. God bless. All praises, Sister Norma R. of Bakersville, California. Sister Norma, definitely going to keep you in prayer. Remember, brothers, remember, sisters, we have a drink, an herbal drink that Deacon Asaph did one. Deacon Malachi did one. And I believe Deacon Malachi, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas those drinks are filled with herbs. Remember, much more vegetables, much more fruits and veggies, please. Much more of that. Ginger drinks we have. Remember, I believe Captain Barnabas has a ginger drink. Yes, he does. Let me think, what else? These are the type of things that help your immune system stay strong. The processed foods is not good for us. Processed foods, not good for any of us. I'm talking about fast foods. I'm talking about these cold cuts. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? Please remember that. All right. Next letter says, it's Sabina L. "When I see the marches, makes me think of our leaders we so desperately need. All praises to the Most High For you all, pray for me as I pray for you and your families. In my prayers, amen, hallelujah. P.S. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Sister Sabina. Thank you. The next one says, Shalom, Bishop. I've been listening online for 5 years plus. Wow. And my heart has changed and still going strong. All praises to the Most High. I'm asking for more understanding and that the Holy Ghost stay with us all. And I want to help with flyers. We don't have much time, but here's a little something to help in any issue. Please add me to the prayer list. That's my sons. Hear this truth. Sincerely, Derek S. from California. Derek, you can print out the flyers on IsraelUnite.com. IsraelUnite.org. IsraelUnite.org. I apologize. That's the website. And you can print out, just type in flyers, and you can print them out and hand them out. All right? Now, you're in California. We have a school in Los Angeles, and we have a school in Northern Cali. Also, if you go to our website under Contact Us, we have Captain Zakai out there, and we have Captain Hananiah and Captain Benaiah. All right? All praises. All right, the next one is a card that reads the General, and you have a 7-branch menorah that says IUIC forever. And you have a photo with scriptures of brothers and sisters. All praises. I'm going to post it. I want everybody to see it. It's a nice card. All praises from the kids class, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. All praises, all praises. This is from IUIC Grand Rapids, Seeds of Jacob. All right. Let me put that, make sure it gets posted. All right. This next one here, it says, Shalom, Bishop Nathanyel, Most High in Christ bless. Here's my donation for the Booster Club, for the prophets to travel around the world to tell our people we are God's chosen, the real Jews, the real Israelites. This is from Sister Laura M. of our Seattle camp. Thank you, Sister Laura. All praises. The next one reads, Most High in Christ bless, thanking him for his appointed general and the army of the Lord here today. Thank you, Bishop, for all you do for the nation of Israel. This is from Sister Sheila N. Thank you, Sister Sheila. All praises. The next one's a card. It says, thank you. Shalom, Bishop, Most High in Christ bless. The thank you is for your and IUIC's hard work and dedication to waking up the 12 tribes. Sincerely and shalom, John, Jean, and Hezekiah. All praises. Thank y'all so much. The next one is from Perry P. God bless you, Bishop Nathanyel and IUIC. Keep up the good work. All praises. Thank you, Perry P. Thank you. We want to give a shout out of thanks to Danny L.P. Oh, praises. Shout out of thanks to Herbert C. Shout out of thanks to M. Corey, I believe that is M. Corey of Vegas. Shout out of thanks to Sister Cabrera. Shout out of thanks to, I can't read this, ASW of Maryland. Shout out of thanks from Brother Willis. Oh, Brother Willis, I did get your letter, by the way. Call us so we could get more information in terms of what you are saying regarding ADOS. Okay. We want to give a shout out of thanks to M. Anita J. of Niagara Falls. Shout out of thanks to Chester W.M. of Jamaica, New York. Shout out of thanks to Douglas M. Shout out of thanks to Douglas M. again. Shout out of thanks to D. Williams. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Richard S. Shout out of thanks to Pelalila I. Shout out of thanks to Shirley B. J. All praises. Shout out of thanks to George S. Shout out of thanks to Jacqueline M. Jacqueline M. again. Jacqueline M. one more again. Shout out of thanks to Isaiah I. Brother Kevin. Shout out of thanks to Ronnie P. Shout out of thanks to Ian M. Shout out of thanks to Norma R. Shout out of thanks to Elishaba B.I. Hastings, Florida. Shout out of thanks to Ilona B. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Willie R. Thank you, Willie R. Shout out of thanks to Sabina L. Shout out of thanks. The memo reads to the 12 tribes worldwide. Fundraising, all praises. Shout out of thanks to Diva A of Buffalo, New York. Shout out of thanks to Diva A again of Buffalo, New York. Shout out of thanks to Carlton K. Shout out of thanks to Ronnie S. Shout out of thanks to Sister Nabia, Patricia W. Shout out of thanks to Laura M. Thank you. Shout out of thanks to Sheila N. Shout out of thanks to Johnny D. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Herman B. of South Carolina, Florence. Shout out of thanks to S. Crawford. Shout out of thanks to Brooks, the business. Shout out of thanks to Miss Stacy B. of New Jersey. Shout out of thanks to Sheila K. and Jada R. Shout out of thanks to G. Ward. All praises. Shout out of thanks to Angela D. All right. All praises. Thank you so much. Shout out of thanks to Rose E. D. of Tennessee. Shout out of thanks to, I can't read that. It's anonymous, but all praises. Thank you. Shout out of thanks to L. K-Son. All praises. Shout out of thanks to, I believe that is K. King. King. All praises. Thank you. Brothers, sisters, you know how I love to say, let's all of us stay healthy. Let's stay faithful. Let's stay focused. But most of all, let's all of us stay in the spirit. Most High in Christ bless you all. Love you. Shalom.
What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong.